Hi, this is Dr. Alexis, and in this video I'll walk you through the document that we use when we analyze our clients' blood work. This spreadsheet helps us to clearly see the trends that are occurring from year to year so that we can determine the underlying cause of an illness, determine if there are any contributing nutrient deficiencies, and even catch a disease in the early stage before there are any symptoms to tell us that there's a problem. And just a quick note before we get started, you might see some slight variations in your own lab assessment document and the one that we'll review in this video because we continually update and improve this system as well as adjust the optimal ranges that you'll see in column C here as new research comes out. So before your consult, you'll receive an email from us that all of your biomarker data has been updated into your document from your lab report. And this email will include the direct link to your lab assessment document that looks something like this. It's important to know that I will continue to do my analysis of the data up until sometimes the hour before our consult, so you'll continue to see changes to the formatting and the information added up until the minutes before your consult sometimes if you decide to take a look at this early. The first thing I want to mention is the yellow box to the left. This is the area that you will enter your personal health data before each consultation. Then we'll take this data and we'll enter it into the corresponding column with the corresponding date. You can type in each box like this. If you have any questions about how to measure your waist to hip ratio, this is a helpful link. And this yellow box is the only area in the whole document that you'll have to fill out. Everything else we'll do for you. So now take your eyes up to the top here to the blue boxes that have the dates in them. And you'll see a place with each of your lab testing dates that we have on file for you. In the corresponding column under the date, you'll see all the lab data from that particular date has been entered. So for January 10th, for example, you'll see all of the lab data from that particular date. Here's all the data from April 4th. Here's all the data from July 6th. To move through the dates as time goes on, you scroll to the right, or you can take this scroll bar here and scroll to the right. And notice as you're scrolling, the top section and the section to the left will say static, so you always know what test this is pertaining to and what date. Next, if you look in column A and scroll down the page, you'll see different labeled sections. So blood sugar analysis, kidney function analysis, electrolyte mineral analysis, and so on. These sections contain the commonly ordered tests that are used to assess that particular area of the body. Another thing to note is that some of the boxes will have a small black triangle in the corner of the box. For example, if you look at the blood sugar section and go to fasting glucose and then highlight, a box will pop up with further explanation of that particular test. Now looking to column C. Column C is a vertical column that contains all the optimal ranges for each lab test. We'll link to our blood work blog article that explains this in more detail, but a really quick explanation is that there's a big difference between the normal reference range that you'll see on your actual lab report and the ranges that we use called the optimal ranges. So if you scroll down column C, you'll see all the optimal ranges for each section. Normal ranges are often the very wide reference range that are obtained from a sample population of people that go to that lab. And these ranges are used to diagnose disease, but are not really effective in assessing for optimal health and function. So the optimal ranges in column C represent the range of a healthier population of people. Now moving over to the green columns. Your personal lab data will be copied from your lab report to these columns with the date of the test at the top here in the blue box. If your lab value is highlighted in green, such as this one here, this is the fasting glucose test from July 6th, and the result is 90, and it's highlighted in green. So if it's highlighted in green, this means that it's in the optimal range. But if the value is red, such as this test here, so fasting glucose from the January 10th test right here, if this is in red, it means it's outside of the normal reference range for that particular lab. So this is an abnormal test in conventional medicine. However, if the box is highlighted in orange, such as this one, so this is your fasting glucose test from April 4th, which for this particular person is 101. These values are not abnormal on the actual lab report, but they're outside of the optimal range. So if you see the range here is 75 to 90 and this is 101, so it's outside of the optimal range, but it still looks normal on the lab report. These values might represent suboptimal function that can easily be missed if you're just scanning the report that you get back from the lab looking for abnormal values. I commonly consult with clients who are not feeling well, such as having constant fatigue or brain fog, but they've been to their doctor and they're told that everything that looks fine because they don't have any abnormal blood values. But then I take a look at their values and I see that actually they're not normal at all, even though they appeared that way just by looking at the lab report. Take, for example, this person's data from January to April. So their values have gone from red to orange, so they're moving in the right direction for sure. But had this person gone to the lab or gone to the doctor to get this blood test in April because they're having low energy and brain fog, all of these values will look normal on the lab report. However, this person is very much outside of the realm of normal. They are in a pre-diabetic stage and probably in various stages of insulin resistance that could be contributing to their energy and their brain fog problems. And so even though this looks normal, if you look at the actual lab report, when we do this type of analysis, we can catch these types of issues and see that even though their blood work is trending in the right direction, it's actually not normal yet, and we still need to do interventions to improve their blood sugar control. And if you scroll to the very bottom of the document here, you will see a section that is called Additional Tests and Notes. And this section is any test that's not part of our regular assessment that we want to track over time as well. As well as you'll see links over here for the pediatric reference ranges and normal reference ranges in pregnancy. And the last thing I want to mention is that at the top of the document, if we scroll all the way back up to the top, you'll see your current health score. So that for this person, it's 79 out of 100 in January, and then when they redid their score, it's 85 out of 100 in July. This health score is calculated from the information that you provide in your online health assessment intake form. We will email you a link to complete this assessment as soon as you schedule. And then you may have noticed here at the top, we also have our health performance traffic light right here. And this calculates how many of your tests are abnormal, normal, and optimal for each testing date so that you can track how your health is progressing over time. All right, thank you for watching, and I look forward to analyzing and going over your data so that you will have a solid understanding of your current health and future risk factors.